What's going on, guys? This is Alex from AM Photography, Instagram, A.M Photography 1985. Facebook's the same thing, Twitter's the same thing. I can literally be found in all of those same areas. I am here with the amazing Jenna on her podcast, J All Day Podcast. We about to talk about a lot and get this thing cracking.
What's cracking, what's popping? It's your host from the West Coast, Jenna, aka J All Day, and I'm here with...
It's your boy Alex, representing A.M Photography. It's my photography company, and I'm here rocking with the best,
Yes.
Jenna, on her podcast today. It's such an honor to be here.
Man,
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you're here. It's been a minute, too, because we've been trying to go back and forth with, like, getting photos, doing a photo shoot, but... It's like, I'm like, I gotta get in the gym, and then it's like, I'm hella busy, and then it's just, you know how us females are.
I get it.
Before we start off with anything, I want to start off with, it's not a snack alert, unfortunately, but it's more like food news. Okay, so Red Lobster, how do you feel about their Cheddar Bay biscuits?
So, and it's crazy that you bring this up, because me and my wife were just talking about this the other day. So, like, the first time we took my daughter, that's the only thing she ate.
Was the biscuits.
That was it.
I kind of girl right there.
She only drank water out her sippy cup and ate Cheddar Bay biscuits for the entire time we're there. So if you are telling me right now they're about to get rid of them,
they're not about to get rid of them.
About to cry on the podcast.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, it is the end of an era, folks. Red Lobster is ending their Endless Bay biscuits. So they're unlimited that you should get, even though they're always waiting in the oven.
True.
Every fucking time you go.
Yep.
You're like, can we get some biscuits? And they're like, oh, well, just a few more minutes. Like, how the fuck do you run out of biscuits? That is your one priority.
More people are concerned about the biscuits
That's
than the
it.
food. You're
just
right.
make sure I have 2 baskets of biscuits on my table at all times, and we're cool.
That's it.
Okay, so now it's saying when you go online that when you order an entree, you will only be receiving 2 biscuits for free. I mean, I'm sure you can get, like, more if you pay for them on the side.
Hey, Red Lobster, you heard it here first. The disrespect is real.
Isn't that amazing?
It's real.
Like, why? Olive Garden's not cutting their breadsticks. That's what I'm saying. Power to you, Olive Garden. So, I'm sorry. I don't know if they have actually already done this, because some people are saying, well, I'm still going and I'm still getting endless amounts of unlimited biscuits,
Gotcha.
right? But they're so janky on biscuits that I think that this is their way of kind of like moving around it.
I feel like Red Lobster is trying to push towards their food, because more people are not going there for the food like that.
No, well, you fill up on the biscuits and then you take your food to go,
Very
and then
true.
also biscuits to go.
Right.
So that's kind of the food news. Sorry, it's not a snack alert, but I felt like it was my due diligence to tell the world of this sad news.
She waits till I get on the podcast to give this
I had a
news.
feeling, I was like, he gonna love biscuits. I know he's gonna love biscuits like I love biscuits. And I can only tell somebody this on the podcast if they feel my pain. I told my boyfriend yesterday when I found out the news, I was like, man. And I showed him, he goes, shit. So both of us are just like heartbroken over this whole, and we don't even go to Red Lobster all that much.
We don't even
You know
go
what I
that
mean?
much either, but no, like the main thing that we go there for is that.
But once you feel like a biscuit, you just want fucking biscuits.
That's it.
And they're still so good too. If you ain't been to Red Lobster in a minute and you're like, you know what? I haven't had a baked biscuit for a second. Go. It's so worth it.
Try it out now before they start limiting it.
For real. Go get them biscuits. Okay, so let us know a little bit about you. What do you do? And let's start with the photography stuff, because that's kind of like how we have met and interacted.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your own company.
I do. So AM Photography, which has been a company that I've been running for about 6 years now. I originally started it like just as a hobby, because I'm military, so it was kind of a stress relief.
Military, Army, Marines, okay.
Yeah. It was kind of a stress relief for me to do something just to get away from it all, to focus on something else other than the military.
Yeah, healthy vice.
Yeah. So I started it, and a lot of the pictures that I originally started doing was just like landscape stuff, scenery, because it doesn't move and it's not that hard.
Right. Learning, that's a good way to learn.
And then,
flowers.
Focusing on the flowers, make sure the colors are right, And then eventually, as I wanted my business to grow, I started more like modeling photos, fashion, streetwear, And I started moving on towards those things to kind of build a brand. Because like, you know,
You got to.
What you've been doing and what you're doing now, you're building Jenna.
Exactly.
The person, the individual,
Yep.
the brand. So what I've been trying to do is do the same thing with my photography company. And what's crazy is like this time, I think around this time last year, I created my logo.
Oh, okay. So this is...
Yeah, so it's
fairly
built.
new kind of thing going
So me building it as a true brand, it's been different, a lot more difficult than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I realized that this is something that I want to continue to do. And one day, you know, because I have kids, being able to say, hey, I'm leaving this to you if you choose to want to have it.
I love that. I really, really love that when parents do that, because it gives a little bit of a cushion in this crazy life that we all have to live. Like I always will joke and say, like, I wish I was a trust fund baby. Like we always do, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's not reality. But I do know people that, you know, I have a friend that her dad bought a whole bunch of houses and fixed them up, and each house goes to each kid. And just to have that feeling of, like, I have a home no matter what, I don't know what that feels like. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's gotta feel good.
The purpose of, like, generational wealth, because we don't talk about that like that.
Fuck no.
We just, hey, you got paid. What are the new J's that just came out? What are the new clothes that came out?
Or I've already paid all my bills, I have nothing else, and I'm just barely surviving.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wish I could pay for some clothing or for some shoes. What is your favorite type of photography to do? Like, what's your passion go to? If you could do anything and you know, fuck money, fuck all that other stuff, what would it be?
It would probably be fashion. I'm a true fan of like fashion and lifestyle photography.
Okay.
Like someone who, through a photo, I'm able to capture them.
Okay.
Like, this is my style. This is the way I want to look and feel every day, and you capture that through the lens of your camera. And like, that's the best feeling in the world. Like, like when somebody be like, "Oh my God, I just love that picture." Yeah. It looks amazing to me. That's like more than the money, more than anything. That lets me know, like, yes, like all the stuff that I've been working for, everything that I've been doing, working towards, it shows right here in the photo. Like, it's an amazing feling to me. Like
some reinforcement. It
is,
and that's exactly what everybody needs to keep on doing, especially with side hustles. It's a struggle. Do you also edit and do everything after your photos? See, you're a producer as well, so it's a hard life to live. You know, people don't understand. Like, I sit here and talk on the podcast, but there's a lot of stuff I gotta do
after the fact.
You know what I mean? Like,
the time that it takes to do not only this, but then everything afterwards, the beforehand, the prepping, everything afterwards. Sometimes people don't quite understand how much it takes to do certain things that we do.
The teasing, you know, continuously have to be present. Like, I'm not one person that, you would think that from what I do, I love social media, right? Like, everybody would probably be like, oh, Jenna, like, she loves social media. Like, she likes to be on her story. I fucking hate it. Like, I'm not a social media person. Like, I like it for what it is, but I like to disappear for like 2-3 days. Right. Which, in this situation that I'm in now, I can't. No. There's no way. Like, I gotta continuously tell people, like, oh, new episode up. Oh, you didn't hear this episode? Oh, this is what's going on. Oh, you know what I mean? And it's exhausting, honestly. And sometimes I annoy myself. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, when you have to post so much, it's like, damn.
I agree. I was getting to that point, like, you know what? I'm gonna try and post like every day. Like, if I get a photo, I'm gonna post every day. And then eventually I'm like, and a piece of me, when I first started out, it would bother me, like, if I put a photo on, and it would get like 30, 40 likes. Yeah. And I'm like,
I want to take it down.
I feel like this is a fire photo. Like, I feel like it should be hundreds and thousands of likes. Yeah. And then I realized, like, I gotta stop posting it for that. Yeah. No. I'm posting it because people are looking at it and wanting and liking what I'm putting out there. Yeah. If they like it, great. But my art is out there for people to appreciate, not only for me just to hold on to.
It's your page, and therefore you do what you want to do.
Yep.
So what does AM photography stand for?
I'm glad you asked that question. So and crazy thing is, when I first got my logo made, the guy who sent it back sent a sun, like the outline of a sun, because he thought like the AM stood for like early in the morning.
Early in the morning.
And I was like, I never thought about that, but that's not what I'm going with. Yeah. So the first 3 initials, A, the M, and the P, are my name initials.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And it just kind of went together.
AM photography.
That's it.
Dope.
it worked
I
out
like
for
that.
me that way, yeah.
That's really dope.
And so like when everybody asks now, I'm like, nah, man, it's just my initials of my name.
Yeah.
And the photography is just on the end of it. And it was like, you know what?
That works.
It worked.
And then you can cut it down to AMP too if you need to.
That worked. And like for real, I've really been thinking about that for like icons or anything that I'm getting ready to do merchandise wear, because it's much easier for people to recognize just the initials and the logo than the actual full name sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you can play around with that too, AMP and things like that. So that's dope. That's dope. So let's talk about side hustles a little bit, because you said that photography is your side hustle.
It is.
What's your job? 9 to 5?
My 9 to 5 job is I am United States Army. I'm a staff sergeant.
So you're still in
in
Army. Okay.
13 years in.
Damn.
7 years to go, and I get to take those boots off for retirement.
Man,
I can't
7
wait.
years seems like such a long time.
It does until you've done 13.
Right, and then you're like,
it's really not that many to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. My brother was in the Marines for 11 years, so I'm not him, obviously, but it was a rough road for him. Yeah. So, I salute you guys completely. Yep. Are you from Washington area?
I am not from Washington.
Of course.
I am from Georgia.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are going to hate this, the greatest state ever, including Jenna, because she's going to say Cali all day.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, she's going to say Cali all day. But, Georgia's home to me.
I've always wanted to go to Georgia.
You gotta go.
I will go.
See, and I've been to Cali, but not the real Cali.
Yeah.
I've been like Fort Irwin, bottom of the map Cali.
Yeah, a lot of people will say that.
It's not the same.
And even if you go to California, which I'm assuming this is like that in every state, but if you go somewhere and you don't know where the fuck to go, then you really haven't been. No, because you have to go with somebody or know somebody to hook you up with places for them to be like, you gotta hit this spot, this spot, this spot, and see this scenery, because I hate tourist shit. I'm the kind of person that when you take me somewhere, I'm gonna go see the hood.
Oh, that is perfect, because when I went to Hawaii last year for the first time,
I love Hawaii.
And I went to Hawaii with someone who's been there before, like has family there.
Yeah.
And to do everything not tourist related when you go to Hawaii, I was like, oh my God.
You feel like you're better than everybody else.
I was
honestly.
like, your experience when you go is not gonna be better than mine. It's gonna let you know that right now. It's not.
No. And you gotta there's certain spots where, when you live there, you'll go and it's like considered like a tourist spot, but it's not where everybody knows to go. So, you gotta, next time you go to Cali, I got you covered with that.
See?
What part of Georgia?
So, my wife is from Atlanta.
Okay.
I am from like the size of this table, little small town in the not sticks. I mean, it's a little small town called Blackshear, Georgia. Like population like 500.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's
real.
like 80 people in my.
How far away is it from Atlanta?
It's like 4 hours.
Okay, so it's a pretty.
It's a pretty good drive. So
okay.
Normally when we go home, we go to Atlanta more than I go.
Well, there's probably not a lot where.
Agreed. I'm not gonna argue with you on that at all.
Atlanta's changed a whole bunch too, right?
It has, yes.
Yeah, everyone always tells me like, yo, Jenna, if you go, you ain't never gonna want to come back, and I'm like, really?
I'm not gonna say you never gonna want to come back.
Yeah.
But you'll enjoy your time while you're there.
I think I will too. Yeah. I like barbecue when I ate it before I was vegan, and strip clubs I heard are fucking mania out there. So I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. So back to side hustles. So you're in the military, you do photography. I hear all the time from people, I don't have time to do a side hustle, or you always hear from people, I'm sure you have friends too, that are always like, I wish I could do this, or I want to go back to school, but I can't because of this, or because I don't have enough this. And I always tell people, like, you're going to get as far as you take yourself, and you have to make time for things that matter.
Absolutely.
So how do you make time? How many kids you have?
I have 2.
And you have wife, and you guys probably don't have a lot of time with each other. So how do you find the time to do photography?
So on days like today when I'm off.
Or find time, there's time to me.
Or days like today when I'm off, or any off days that I have, I try and find the time to schedule it then. And what I do with my wife is I let her know in advance, like, hey, I want to use this weekend if I have the time to do a photo shoot.
As you should. That's good communication.
So, or I'll let her know, hey, I'm not going to book anything this weekend. If you want to do something, then we'll do something. And then the following weekend will be the weekend that I do my photo shoots. But when it comes to the side hustle, you just have to make the time for yourself.
And you said the key point right there. You said, I do it on my days off.
Right.
So you don't have any days off, essentially.
No.
And that's what people need to understand. Things don't just come to you. Like, you gotta work for shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you want something to happen, then you need to wake up earlier than you usually do then. Or maybe go to bed a little later than you usually do then. Or maybe not go out on the weekends and hang out with friends that you want to, or get drunk,
Yep.
or do whatever your vice is. You know what I mean? What is more important?
Mm-hmm.
Getting a side hustle, you know, having your photography business take off in hopes that you don't need anything else,
True.
or do something else and just continue to say, oh, well, I wish I could do that, or I hope I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference between people that are successful and people that are not, in
Right.
my opinion. It's about making sacrifices.
I agree.
And like when I was on the radio, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, before anybody else is awake. People are getting home from the clubs, and I would still find time to work out,
Yep.
and to do other things that I needed to do as an adult, and take care of my dog and walk her, and do things that I didn't want to do. All that, I want to come home, I want to sleep.
Yep.
I'm tired, you know what I mean? But we make sacrifices.
Agreed.
So, you know, if there's anybody that's listening that's like, yo, I'm trying to work on this side hustle or a clothing line, because almost everybody I know is trying to work on a side hustle, but they're not actually working on it.
Right.
They're just saying they want to do it. Well, time's going to pass you up, and you're going to get to a point where you're going to say, oh shit, 3 years ago I had this idea, I should have just jumped on it then.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah. My wife was the same way. So like she has her own side hustle. Like she sells her own jewelry, her own clothing,
Dope.
stuff like that. So she originally started with one company, and it was bogging her down because it was only allowing her to sell what they wanted her to sell.
Yep.
And with her own vision and her own dream, it was not what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
So she was like, I was like, well, if it's not what you want to do what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, you're going to lose money in the beginning. I've done plenty of free photo shoots that
Yeah.
I probably should have charged for.
Right.
But the simple fact was, people know my work now. They know who I am. And now I'm comfortable with saying, hey, yeah, I love the idea.
Yeah.
But here's my hourly rate if
Yeah.
you want to do it. And like, it took me a while to get to that point. Like, and I know your boyfriend Will is a huge comic book fan, Marvel, DC, all that.
Yes, he totally is.
My favorite quote in any movie was when Joker said, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah, facts. And that's exactly it. I mean, I'm a person like you too. Like, I definitely give a lot of free time away.
Yep.
All the time. When I was on the radio, the same thing. I'm constantly interacting with people that really, I don't have to. You know what I mean? I don't have to interact with anybody, but I interact with them like I know them, or that they're like my real friends.
Right.
Which that's just my personality. But sometimes I'm like finding myself writing down, you know, replying. I'm like, what am I? This is too much. Like, I don't even know this person. Like, delete, and then we'll write back a little something more like, you know, not so intricate. But you have to know your worth in order for you to make money off of your side hustle. But you also have to do a lot for free to begin with.
That's
networking,
the main thing. Yep.
And it's getting your name out. And you could do one photography session with somebody, and they might be like, yo, I fuck with this guy. I'm gonna tell Meek Mill when I go see him. I mean, you never know who people know.
You never know.
And it's your job to network and get your name out there.
Yep.
I'm doing all this shit for free, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna charge anybody to come in and talk to me, because it's a mutual thing. Like, I feel like this gives people the ability to have a platform that they usually don't have. I mean, everybody always wants to interview people with billions of followers and that are rappers or models or, you know, somebody, you know, I'm putting quotation marks in the sky right now, but to me, that's all for the birds.
Yep.
Because everybody is
that.
somebody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And everybody that listens, they're not celebrities. They're people that live the life that I live. So it's like, you know, I think it just takes a village for people to...
I agree. I totally agree.
Get it together. But if you are, you know, really struggling with, like, should I go back to school? Should I do a side hustle? Like, just fucking do it.
Just do it.
And there's going to be some days where you don't want to. Like, there's some days where I really don't want to do this.
I agree.
And I do it anyways. And then after I do it, I'm like, yo, I'm glad I did that. It's like working out. No one ever like leaves the gym saying like, well, fuck, I'm so pissed off I worked out. You know what I mean? Getting in there though, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, you'll talk yourself out of that every time.
Every single time.
I didn't eat too bad today. I should be all right.
Oh yeah. Oh, I go through it on a daily basis. Like, I don't really. Maybe if I just like cut down my calories, just do shakes all day or something. Like, I don't really need to go inside the gym.
What was crazy? I did a photo shoot this morning.
Oh yeah. See.
I was in Seattle by 10 to do a photo shoot this morning.
And you probably kind of scheduled I was too, right?
Yeah. So I was like, if I'm already in the city.
See, that's smart. That's what
I'm
you
already
should
in the city.
do.
Then I don't have to drive all the way back down to Tacoma and come back up. I just space the time out.
Yep.
It's hard, trust me. I know it is.
Yeah.
But if you make the time and it's something that you really want to do, don't talk yourself out of it.
No.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it and see where it gets you. And, give yourself a timeline. If it doesn't work out in a year, well, then I'm not saying every side hustle is a good hustle. So don't get that twisted neither. You got to know what you're getting yourself into and really think about it and then dedicate the time.
Right.
If it's a clothing line, everybody got a clothing line. Like, think about it. Do your research. Do something where it's like build your brand first.
Yep.
Why do people I was thinking about? Why do people want to wear certain people's clothes? For what? You know what I mean? Like you have to figure that out. So I'm proud of you for making the step. And it's not like you're 21. You know what I mean?
I'm not.
So that's even more of a reason he has kids on the line. You got to feed families and stuff. Like. That's rough. That's a hard decision to make. So, I applaud you for that. Anything else about your photography like you want to talk about or?
So, I kind of schedule based off of course my availability and the model's availability. And lifestyle and fashion, like I said, are the ones that I focus on the most.
Uh-huh.
Of course, there are other areas that I want to eventually broaden off to.
Yeah.
But until I get to that point where I'm comfortable
Uh-huh.
doing those types of shoots, then I'm gonna stick with what I know for right now.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dabble and see how I feel about it, and then I'll come back to what I know. But the photography business, and the thing, and this is for all side hustles, the main things you need to understand is just because of the location that you're in, like for me, it's tough the most because I'm military.
Yeah.
I always move.
Yeah.
So I'm reinventing myself
constantly
every time I go somewhere.
Yeah.
So like it was rough my first year here in Washington. I'm like,
I'm sure.
Rough.
It was
like, my
rough for
camera
me, too.
was dry.
Yeah.
Dry. And I was doing free shoots and my wife was like,
That's gotta be hard though too as a man. You DM somebody and say it's a woman and they're like, well, why the fuck does he want to give me a free photo shoot? You know what I mean? So I could understand that struggle as well.
So, and the thing is, what I tell everyone, especially, it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. If you want to partner with someone when it comes to something like that, the respect shown from the beginning is something that goes a long ways.
Yeah.
The way you send messages can go a long way.
Definitely.
Like I have a script that I send out.
Yeah.
If I want to work with someone,
good idea.
I send that script every time. They respond, great. If they don't, okay, great. I'll delete the message and move on to the next. But my message stays the same, professional.
Yep.
And if you keep that professionalism from the jump, then there's never any issues.
Facts. Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Never any issues.
I like that. So what is your hourly rate for everybody?
My hourly rate, I shoot $100 an hour for the first 2 hours, and then it's $50 an hour for every hour afterwards.
Cool.
So, for everyone out there, hey, AM Photography, I am around the area. I will travel. Just let it be known. I shoot in Seattle a lot.
No.
Even though I hate the traffic up here.
I know it's bad.
Hates, like with strong underlines underneath.
It is hella bad.
But if it's worth, if I feel the partnership is worth for me getting out on the road and doing it, I would definitely travel and go do it.
Oh, good to know. So before we hit Instagram and all that good stuff, I want to go through my outro questions for you. Okay. Did you have time to practice like other guests that I've had on here?
I looked but didn't have the time.
Good.
No.
Yes. I was like, wow, this isn't gonna work out. People know what I'm gonna ask them, but I actually kind of like when if people know about it too. So just answer them. First thing that comes to mind.
Sure.
So first thing you do when you wake up in the morning.
I shave because I'm up by like 4 o'clock every morning to go to work.
Okay. Some military response.
Yes, yeah, unfortunately.
Favorite cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
God, that is the one.
Easily.
General Mills, y'all should be really giving yourself a pat on the back.
You should.
One thing someone would be really surprised to know about you.
I'm really not that outgoing.
Okay.
I'm kind of a homebody.
Introvert?
Yes, big
Yeah.
time. My wife is the extreme opposite of me.
Really?
She wants to go out and be among the people.
That's so funny.
I'd rather just be at
And
home
it still works.
and turn my Xbox on and play all day.
Okay. I'm a little bit of both too. I'm definitely a social butterfly when I'm out and about, but I'd much rather stay home every day and watch movies.
Now, if it's not close friends.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
You're doing great right now. Just let
Thank
you know.
I appreciate it. I think my wife is going to be great about this when she sees it.
She's going to be like, wow, this is really great. Proudest moment?
Quite a few. Proudest moment, marrying my wife. Second proudest, becoming a dad.
Awesome. You have a boy and a girl?
I do.
I don't know how I knew that, but I just feel like I did.
Boy and a girl.
Favorite thing to cook?
Anything from my wife. There's one thing in particular she likes the most. It's like a stir fry that I cook.
Okay.
And if she's having a rough day or if it's a special occasion, I'll cook that for her.
So like soy sauce, stir fry, Asian cuisine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love stir fry.
Yep.
And then most hated house chore?
Washing dishes.
I hate washing dishes.
I hate washing dishes. I will wash clothes. I will fold clothes. I will do anything else in my house except for wash dishes. It is literally the worst.
So does that mean that the wife does it all the time?
She does it a lot, and I feel so bad
Shame
about it.
on
I
you.
know.
It's okay. You know what? The secret between you and me, Will, he actually does them all the time.
Really?
Mostly because that's like kind of our deal. Like I'll cook and stuff, but like, yeah. But then I'll wake up in the morning and do them when I feel like, damn, he's done them a hell of times. I'll do them, but I fucking hate doing dishes too.
I hate them.
I pretty much I like cleaning. I just don't like doing like certain things.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like. I'll do the toilets all day. I'll do the bathroom. I'm good with that. But dishes just take so long.
I feel like they never stop.
No.
Like
they
I
don't
felt like I
ever
just
stop.
washed them yesterday, and there's 300 dishes.
Piles up again.
And they don't even really be that many. I just over exaggerate the amount that's in there and just procrastinate.
That's exactly what I do. I'm like, well, there's only like one or two. Like, I'll wait, and then I'll look again, and I'm like, oh my god, there's 20. How did that happen?
Exactly how it works.
Fuck, man, those damn dishes. So where can they find you? Where can they hit you up? How can they see your work?
So, I'm currently working on my website, which is, I'm such a, I wouldn't say procrastinator. I'm such a perfectionist
Yeah.
at what I do that I just want every piece of it to be right before I put it out in the world.
That's why it took me so long to do this, because I wanted my logo. I didn't want to do the podcast without the logo, because I wanted someone to have a vision of the logo, so then it can coincide. Like, you always want to make sure, you know,
see one, you see the other.
You drop something when it's right.
Yep.
So.
Currently working on my website, but Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a.m.photography 1985. I'm on all of them. You can find them all the same.
Yep.
I'm keeping them that way. That way I'm easier to find. Shoot me a message. I respond quickly. If you shoot me a message, either DM, email me, all of that stuff stays the same. a.m.photography1985@gmail.com. And I'm Alex. I mean, the same person you see here is the same person you're going to get on the photo shoot.
Cool.
The one thing that I've learned the most is that the quicker you make them comfortable of doing the shoot, the better off the shoot is going to be.
Well, there's nothing worse than like having people take photos of you that you can't communicate with and feel comfortable with. Because if a photo looks like shit, I'm going to tell you, like, I don't like the way that looks. Can you do it like this? So that's a big thing in my book. I've had people take my photos before where they don't even say a word. And I'm like, can you tell me, like, how to pose or, like, stand? Or does my face look okay?
It's
like,
definitely the weirdest feeling in the world when you're just standing there taking the photo and they're just standing there looking at you.
I mean, you're kind of a composer as a photographer. Like, you have to say, like, you know, if I'm looking down at you and I have 5 chins, I want you to be like, hey, that's not very flattering. Let's look, you know, like, you got to maneuver people. So it takes a special person to be good at photography with people. And if you can make somebody that is super picky, which I know women are probably definitely hard to take photos with. You know, that's...
I plead the fifth.
Good job. Good man. That was a test. And you won. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, you know, follow him, hit him up, give him a try. Like, if you're trying to get new photos, I'm definitely going to work with you. So just know, I promised you that months ago. I promise you it will happen. Just trying to get my life together now. So, you know, no excuses, but
you're good.
I promise you I'll be there. Subscribe, follow, rate, comment, all that stuff. YouTube is, my channel is JAllDay87, so I appreciate you guys watching on YouTube. And like I said, if you need advice, hit me up on the gram as well at JAllDay87. And yeah, I'll be back next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.